Hey y'all, Spinal Tap Normie here. I have a friend with me, Chris. Say hi.
Yo, what's up?
Not years, a year ago, I did my initial thoughts on Frontiers that first came out, and I was just like, let's do it again for this update. Um, and I guess just first thing is first. Before we get into that, just to make our stances clear, uh, Chris, I want to ask you what you think of Frontiers, but I also just want to really quickly say I really like it. I don't think it's flawless, but I think it's by far the best game that we've been given since Generations. I think Chris will probably go back even further than that.
Unleashed came out after Generations, right? Or before? It came out
Before.
before. Before. I don't know, Generations is good. And I really like Frontiers a lot. It's a nice change to the formula, so I enjoy it.
I think it's probably the best he's controlled in a 3D environment before. Although Adventure,
That's
I'm
funny that
kind
you say
of
that. It's really funny that you say that for what we're
yeah.
talking about.
Here's the thing. So
No, I don't disagree with you. It's the best he's felt in a long time.
right
So
here's for anyone listening to this. If you're looking for an overly like, if you don't want to hear bad things about a game you like, it's not that the update.
you can go to my channel because I'm the biggest game apologist in the universe.
It's not that we don't have nice things to say about this game. At least I actually, me and Chris haven't talked about it yet, but it's not that I don't have anything nice to say about this update. I do, but there's going to be there's things to talk about because I think that they really dropped the ball on some things with this, and I'm sad to say that. I think Frontiers Update 3 fixes so many problems I had with the game's engine. I think they just really went above and beyond in some areas, and I also think in other areas it's up there with some of the worst stuff in the entire series. And I genuinely mean that. I think there is stuff in this update they did not test play.
Yeah, I really want to hear. I want to hear your side. This is one of the weirdest ones of where I haven't looked up anything about what anybody said about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've kind of been stewing on my own.
Right.
So
I that was me last night, and then this while I was at work today on my break, I was looking at Twitter, and it's just oh no, people are with me. Even people who are good at this game are with me.
I want to add something that's interesting about this is that I love, and this is something that I talk about in my show more than actual life, so it doesn't really matter. But one of the most annoying things about this release is that they decided to release it at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. I got the download about 8:30, so
Yeah,
I'm kind of upset.
That was infuriating to me because it's just September 28th wasn't even honest.
Yeah, and I mean, I get it. America has different time zones, but if I was in California, it would have been I got home from work, cool, a download. But I don't know. I feel like you should just do it earlier.
I don't see what the harm in it was, because if I heard some people say, "Oh well, so more people see it when it comes out," and it's a free.
What are you talking about?
It's a free update. People.
Well, I mean, I don't.
The only people who are going to check it out are people who are already aware that it exists.
Well, I mean, I disagree because like I said, for somebody that understands time zones a little better, I bed if it wasn't for it. I know that that's pretty early, but I have a kid, so I'm tired as hell. So pushing it to that late, I would have either been doing something with you guys or just passed out.
Yeah, and I had to work today. So if you would have released it at if you would have released it did a midnight release, or if you want to follow the time zones, a 3 a.m. release, I would have gotten up and I would have been playing that shit all day. I would have that would have been my day. And instead, I played it for 2 hours. It's because you guys fucking released it so late, because I have to get up at 4 in the morning. Honestly, playing it for 2 hours was fucking pushing it, but I really wanted to.
Yeah.
And what I was received with was a game that has a lot going for it, but does not keep in mind how these characters control. Because when I said that this game has before, we kind of hinted at it, has one of the best control in Sonic's ever. That's because the initial game built an environment for him.
Yeah.
Where this one, I don't know if they test played it. It's fucking atrocious in some areas. And I mean, here's the thing. I've seen some people breeze right through it, and I think it's like, and they make it look really fun, and I'm like, there's a part of me that almost sees it, but it's like, these are people who mastered the game. Like, you're really maybe like this could be a fun challenge, but in order to progress through the story, you have to like be perfect.
Yeah, I feel like the funny thing about this is that, and once again, definite skill issue, I'm gonna admit this, but it feels like, to compare this, is it's like looking at a mod from Super 64, or if you're even older than that, older games, Kaizo. Like,
that's been everywhere, by the way. People keep calling this Kaizo Sonic.
Yeah, it's like sitting somebody down to play Kaizo Mario that is familiar with Super Mario World. It's like, yeah, I'm familiar with Super Mario World, but I'm never gonna be fucking ready for Kaizo, right? Like, it's just, you gotta be ready for that shit. And it's weird because, like, I have a lot I want to say, but I don't know if you want to just jump right into it.
I want to start off by bitching, because I was
gonna bitch too. So
yeah, I do want to end on a positive note, because there's things I like about this.
It's gonna have to end on you then. I don't say that I hate this. It's just I am ambivalent, I guess.
I think that the Tails, Knuckles, and Amy parts are frustrating at first, but once you get the hang of them, they're pretty fun. And I don't think that they're like, I don't think they're asking too much of you. I think it's like kind of just like, it's a little weird to be playing as this new character with a new set of moves in the hardest map in the game, where Sonic, you get to start on the easy map and make yourself work your way to the harder maps. So that's what I think kind of hurts them a little bit, is maybe they should have started off with some easier challenges. But once you got the hang of it, I was able to like knock out them pretty quickly. I'll talk about their controls like near the positive side, because I do like how they control for the most part. I got nitpicks, but I think Amy was the best, and
I think
Knuckles is probably the worst.
It's not their controls that are my problem, it's the lack thereof shit. Like, there's a moment with Knuckles where I had to do a thing, and it's like, you have to upgrade, and I'm like, cool, that would have been really nice if it wasn't a behind.
And that was annoying the shit out of me yesterday, but today, because I played on the Xbox yesterday, I just completely started over on the Switch today. So I could just lie in my bed and play it on my tablet. That's a more relaxing way to get through this. But, go ahead.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely valid, but I still don't like it. Like, I don't like the fact that there's so much that, like, it's really fine that you have to learn it, but I feel like there needs to be some kind of conveyance here that just doesn't feel like it's there.
They do not convey shit to you in this.
I mean, and hey, Michael,
they do if they set map markers up where to go, but they don't tell you what to do when you get there.
So, congratulations, you've won me over on one. The random floating shit sucks my ass. I hate it. It makes no sense in this one.
I just don't like what it looks like aesthetically in this game. But like in terms of like gameplay, it varies. Sometimes I enjoy it, sometimes I hate it.
See, I hate it because it reminds me of like Halo Forge maps kind of things, of where it's like a creator generated in this one, and like user generated, like not like the creators said, but hey, let's make this level. And I know that they can only do so, but like, I don't know. I feel like some of the challenges are like put into place, and they're not all bad. They're easy to figure out once you figure them out, but like, I don't know. I feel like some of the challenges are just like, cool, I see the marker, I see how to get there, but sometimes it's like, I think one of those ones where like I took a path, and I don't know if it's my own problem, but like I kept doing the same thing over and over. One time it worked, and I'm like, what the fuck did I do different?
Right, and I've had that happen, and I will say this too. A big reason I think they didn't test play this isn't just because, like, I think it's unreasonable sometimes what they expect to do control-wise. Other times, it's not responsive. There is that fucking reveal the signs attack that Tails, Amy, and Knuckles all they have their own version. Knuckles punches the ground, Amy slams her hammer down. I forget what Tails does. I think it's like a computer.
Doesn't it have a
hacking
drill?
thing.
Oh,
Maybe.
yeah,
It
yeah.
might be the drill, but it's like, you know, whenever you see those signs there, that or one of those things that you need to do your
Yeah,
the loop
I get it.
cyclop around it.
Yeah.
Well, it's the loop for Sonic Frame. It's jumping up with the hammer. There's this mission with Amy where you need to hit like these things. You have to hit these things with that attack, and then it'll activate another spring, so you can bounce up and hit another one. With Amy, it just didn't work sometimes, and there's no rhyme or reason for it. It just sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. It was not responsive, and it wasn't because I needed to unlock a new attack, because sometimes it did work, and I just gave up eventually because it was like I can't tell when it's gonna work or not, and there's too many steps to this, and it's gonna fuck up on one of those steps. It won't fuck up on every single one of those steps, but it's gonna fuck up on one, and one is enough. This game is so unforgiving. An update.
Can I be honest? Where I gave up?
Sure.
I'll come back to it. I'm in the middle of doing Halloween shit, so I don't really have the time, to dedicate to learning this game. I gave up, like Amy, Knuckles, Tails, whatever. I gave up at Tails' tower. That's the first tower I unlocked. I don't know if they're in order. But, when you're Sonic, you unlock it, and you gotta scale up that shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I gave up at that.
I gave up on the first tower.
I didn't even, hold on. Yeah, I didn't even, get that high up. I was just, I got way up, and then I couldn't find an exact way to get up, and I'm like, fuck it. Fuck it, I don't got time for this. I gotta go film something else.
Let me tell you what happened last night. What made me quit. When you first start on that ramp, like when you're going up there, you hit a spring, you run up a ramp, and then you run up another ramp, and then you're supposed to land on the small platform that has the spring that's going to get you where you're going next. But if you do not use your boost, you do not get enough momentum to get up there. If you do use your boost, it immediately puts you in trick mode, where if you would push anything, Sonic starts doing like these weird flips that send you so far into the fucking air. Yeah. And you can't land on it unless you do the stomp, and you have to fucking guess with the stomp sometimes.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous.
I've had that problem at Tails too, of where I overshot his flying because the camera locks in certain places.
Camera is working against you in this fucking update. I had so many issues. I love Amy's controls. I love her little card thing, but I swear every time I do that, the camera wants to go underneath her. It does not want to let me see what's happening.
Yeah, hey, speaking of card thing, I'm going to talk about something that no one else will care about. The one thing that I said is that I absolutely wish that Amy's tarot cards would come back into use more. Fuck me on that one. I am absolutely sorry. The one character trait now.
They're using it a lot. I don't mind it. That's actually been a big debate lately. I've seen just scrolling through Twitter, it's just people saying oh no, it's such a good thing for her because it's an aesthetic choice she has, and it's
oh, she's an astrology girl now.
But then there's people who say it's being done a little too much. Well,
see, my issue with it is I'm fine with it being her levitation, but it being her attack is so weird, right? I feel like it would have just better if it was her hammer. Aesthetically.
The hammer would have been better than using the card. The cards I agree with that. Actually, I agree with that completely. The cards are good for a levitate, just a kind of a cute little levitation thing to give her that stands out from the other characters. But the hammer should absolutely be what she's using to attack. She's like fucking Persona right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a little silly, but still, I do, control-wise, I think she's fun. I don't know, the whole tarot card thing is not something I feel too strongly about one way or the other. But
I just kind of wish it...
I hear people saying it. No, I if people think it's being done a little too much, I think I can kind of understand that. It doesn't need to be her core thing, it could just be a fun little part of her character, not the character.
Yeah, it's just it wouldn't be annoying if her use of it, in the actual story, isn't annoying. It being her levitation isn't annoying. It's just it feels it feels weird that they decided to make her attack the cards. And I know that that's absolutely dumb, but it's she has a hammer. Guys, I get it. She has a hammer, though. Use that.
Yeah, and
they do, but I don't know.
And I gotta say, like, I make comparisons to how these guys control in like the adventure games, since that was like the last time they felt properly playable. I know they've been playable since then, but like Heroes, they're part of a three member team, so you don't really get to play as them alone. In
06, they're a mess.
They're a mess in 06. Everybody knows that. So yeah, Adventure 1 and 2 is kind of how I like think about them. And
Yeah.
I gotta say, like, Tails Fly is better in Adventure, Knuckles Glide is better in Adventure. I kind of miss the dig in, even though I kind of get there's no reason to put it in Frontiers, but maybe there could have been some fun things to do with that.
Yeah.
Amy being able to run and then smack her hammer on the ground and do a large flip in the air feels better than most of the stuff you can do for in this game. When I said this game has the best control in Sonic, I almost like cut myself off just because I'm torn between that and Adventure 1 Sonic. But the thing with Adventure 1 Sonic is I think the reason he's so fun to control is because you can exploit him.
Yeah.
Where this game,
that's the same with this
everything.
one too.
Oh yeah, it feels a lot more intentional in this game, but it's kind of like, both of the. I feel like it doesn't really have to be a competition. Both of them did something very fun with their controls for the characters. For
sure.
For Tails, I'm still I need to spend more time controlling him. I really want to unlock the ship. I haven't gotten that on my Xbox playing. Right now I'm still on Amy. On the Switch, I'm taking my sweet ass time. I'm still in the first Amy segment because I'm like trying to unlock every attack she has. I'm like just taking my time now. I have something to confess after this too, I should say, but like, so, because this is an initial thoughts, not a full review of Update 3, but what was I about to say? So like Knuckles, for the most part was fine with him, but, and this might sound really nitpicky, but it does genuinely bother me. Why does he stop to glide?
Yeah, oh my god, okay, no, that's not nitpicky, it like ruins the momentum, though. Yeah.
And people have already patched it out for mods. Like it was just immediately like, I swear I guarantee you there was someone who played the game, did that, like someone with like modern knowledge who played the game, controlled Knuckles for 5 seconds, was like, nope, put the game down, got on their computer.
Yeah, that's in a day too, holy shit.
Like it's
not even a day.
It's just like it's lame. The climbing, I don't like that it can only climb on certain surfaces, but
yeah, it really just kind of it sucks.
But once the climbing itself I was really frustrated with at first, but then when I got the hang of it, like you don't even have to, because I kind of thought you had to like hold down like the A button or something to latch on. You just have to interact with it and he immediately latches on. So once I got the hang of it, it was like, okay, the way he moves on the platforms feels just like Adventure 1 and 2. It's just, I wish you could do it on everything and not just designated platforms.
Yeah.
But the feel of it was right. It's just the freedom of it wasn't right.
I feel like it's very fast though, in comparison for me.
Maybe it's closer to Adventure 1 than Adventure 2.
Yeah, it's like zippy, and that might just be my issue.
I got used to it, but I'm not going to argue with you.
Oh, I'm not. See, you're definitely probably right. I kind of just blew through it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't hate it. I just kind of became like okay, this is what this is. All right, okay.
So my confession, I really wanted to know how the game ended. Like, I really wanted to know the ending. I wanted to see how they were going to change it. I won't spoil what happens. They did. Okay. Not by that much, though. There is differences, but, like, even the post-credit scene, not the Eggman one, the one with Sonic and the others leaving the island, that's exactly the same. They didn't change a thing in that. The final scene is almost identical, minus, like, the final fight, the final boss, they, like, really changed it. I mean, they changed it a lot, and I appreciate that. Is it everything that it should have been? I don't know, because it has, like, several phases, but it kind of feels like each phase is the same from what I saw. Like, they're not changing much, but it's definitely a better final boss than what they had in there. And cinematically, like, the cutscenes and all that, it's miles above what they did in the original. But still, the ending is still very similar. Just one crucial detail is different with like the final cutscene, basically. But it's a big detail. It is. It's like kind of just looking at an alternate ending of a very similar conclusion.
Okay.
That was kind of neat to see. The like aesthetic and visuals of the final boss that they threw in was neat to see. I wanted to watch I just watched the streamer play it for a bit, and I watched them beat it, and I saw the ending. And I did that because I was having a bad time, and I think it was because I was trying to rush to the ending. And this doesn't exempt all the criticisms. I will say, once I just sat down and started taking my time with it, I started enjoying it a lot more. Well, last night I was fucking cursing at the screen.
I think it's funny because mine's the exact opposite. Sitting down with it, I got annoyed with it. What I was saying, sometimes I guess I just need to blow through it.
Yeah, I just decided, like, okay, like, I want to know what happens, but I don't want to blow through this to try to get to that point. So I'm going to just look up the ending. And I'm glad I did that, because I think that if I went through all of that, all of the bullshit, because there's more bullshit to come, Chris. You don't even know what they fucking do.
Did they put Shadow in the game?
No. But, like, I'm talking
You got
about,
me hyped for a minute.
No, I'm talking about nothing to do with story. This is, like, challenges that they throw in that are mandatory.
Makes sense.
I don't know if you've seen the worst of it. I don't even know.
I have not.
I don't know if you've seen close to the worst of it.
I have not. Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna say this, and this is gonna sound kind of harsh. And this isn't harsh, but this feels the 2000s bullshit kind of stuff. If you know what I mean, in gameplay. At this point, so I feel like it might feel like that more.
Yeah, I think they heard people say they wanted like the game to be harder because the game was pretty easy, and they took that note and went the other extreme with it.
Look, listen to me. This is the PSA of this video. This is why y'all need to shut the up, okay? Companies always do this shit, from Mega Man and Base to Mega Man like other games to like there are so many games where people have been like, oh, this is too easy, and then the company goes, fuck you. Fuck you, people.
It feels like it is out of spite, too. And there are so many parts of the Frontiers update where it feels like it's just like, oh, it's too fucking easy for you? Alright, here you fucking go. Is this too fucking easy for you, cunt?
You little bitch. Oh, you know what the real shit kicking the dick was?
What?
Is that, so, I don't know if it's the Xbox One S version of the game, or the Xbox X version, whatever the fuck, you know what I'm talking about.
Aw.
But, like, I didn't know that there were not checkpoints. I didn't know I had to manually save every fucking thing.
Oh, you mean there's no autosaving?
No.
Oh, then everything, I'm glad I switched over to the Switch today, because everything on my Xbox is gone. I didn't save once last night.
I think they save at a point, but, like, between the three, because I made it to Knuckles, remember? And then, I'm talking to Olivia, she's here.
Hi, Olivia.
Michael says hi. But yeah, I made it to Knuckles, and I'm like, I'm done for the night. I'm not gonna, fuck around with this. Then I come back today, and it's like, you didn't play this. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean I didn't play this? And like, I will admit, I am a gaming bitch, right? Like, I mean, I can handle some tough shit, I peruse like the Dark Souls and stuff like that, but like, there's a limit.
I think this is my biggest issue. Is there is no checkpoints for the towers.
Yeah.
And like, I get it's supposed to be a challenge. But I just gotta say this. To the average, I'm sure there's some people who love that challenge. To the average player, it is the number one critique this update's been given. Probably just because nobody's made it past that part yet.
Yeah.
I bet they're going to complain more when they get to the boss, because all the people who were talented enough at the game to make it to the boss, that's what they're complaining about. They're complaining about not the final boss, the fights leading up to the final boss. That's what they're complaining about. I think there's a fucking easy solution to this. Easy normal mode, the fucking what they had for the towers in the fourth island, it's there for these towers. Like, if you fall down, there's a little thing that lets you go back up to a certain point.
Yeah.
And if you're on hard mode, it goes away. Or, if that's too hard to set it up on two different difficulties, which I don't think it is, just put it in anyway, because as the person playing the game, you have the option to not use those even in the original game. If you were like, I fucked it up, or I'm going to do the whole thing again. If you want to have that flex, the game never took away your ability to do that.
Yeah.
So just, why are you, like, it's just, if this was a challenge mode, I would get it, but it's a main story. People want to see how the game ends, and you are keeping them away from it.
I think that's my biggest problem, is that is the issue, right? Is that, like, I would be perfectly fine if they're like, hey, this is a challenge mode. And to be fair here, they do kind of warn you a little bit between, what is the AI's name?
Sage.
Holy shit. Yeah, between Paige and, like...
Sage.
Sage, whatever, what'd you say?
I said Sage, you said Paige.
Sage. I said Paige, yeah. Sage, I heard Paige, but, between Sage even going, it won't be easy, my ass is like, oh, fuck you, I'll show you.
I think that's just, like...
Look, I get it. I get that, like, see, this is, okay, so, to remedy this, right? So Kingdom Hearts did a thing, right? When Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, everyone went, it's too easy. And so what they do is they released DLC and said, hey, here's your fucking hard mode, alright? They didn't change the whole game, they gave us an extra hard mode. I feel like that's what this should have had. I feel like they should have just had, like, an extra, like, an expert mode.
Why not? Yeah. Why not? So many games do that anyway.
Because, I mean, I get that Sonic Frontiers might be easy, but, like, also fuck you. But I want to play the story.
It's a relatively easy game, but it's also just, like, it's not necessarily easy to, you know, S-rank everything, and then in Update 2 they threw in all these new challenges that were harder. And those are completely optional. Like, it's not like there was that, like, the fucking second cyberspace stage was infamous for how hard it was to S-rank. Like, it's not like the challenge wasn't there, but it was also accessible. The accessibility, I think, is where my problem comes in. Because I think that they've made the game inaccessible to a majority of their fan base, and I don't like that.
I also want to make this clear. I'm talking about the DLC. So if anybody's listening to this and going, "Oh my god, they ruined Front," no. At least I don't think so. I have not touched Frontiers. I am waiting to do a video on that one. So.
I was just kind of playing on like the normal mode today before going into the final story on Switch. I was just kind of trying to get into the groove of things again. I collected all the songs.
I think that's another issue with me, is that I have not touched this game since I beat it. So
well, that was my issue last night, and then I feel like messing around with it a bit helped me. Granted, I haven't made it back to Sonic yet, so maybe I'm full of shit. But playing as Amy tonight has been a lot more fun than anything I did last night. But it's because, again, I've just kind of like fully accepted where I'm at.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is that, like, I don't know, I feel like as a person that jumps around with games as much as I do, my time or my patience is a lot lower. Especially, the biggest thing that really sucks, and I think that you can also acknowledge this, is that me and you do both also kind of focus on other things, right? We're not just sitting and playing this one game.
Yeah.
So my complaints come from a more argumentatively casual side, so I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, it's hard, get over it. I'm more of like, no, fuck that. No, I don't have time for this. I want to see the story. I'm sorry.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I think that it's just like...
And I'm not against it being hard either. I just think that there should be an extra difficulty for this. I feel like... Another thing is, I feel like when you said not playtested, that is the perfect thing, because it feels like a lot of the stuff is like, hey, we completed it. Like, it feels like they went, hey, we completed this once, this very specific way. That's all that's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, I think that's what people keep calling it, like Kaizo Sonic. It's like people trying to make really fucking difficult Mario Maker levels. Like that. Remember that one guy who spent like, I sent you the video. He spent like 6 years trying to clear his own level.
Yeah, and then some guy just ruined it. Some psychopath.
I don't even think someone ruined it because he uploaded it. He uploaded it when the game, like, he tried to upload it when the game, like, didn't even have that as a feature anymore. That's why it took him so long. It took him so long that it wasn't a feature to upload it anymore.
Did he do a second one? Is that what I'm thinking of?
You might be thinking of a different person.
I think I might be, because somebody did, like, this long ass, it took them forever, and, oh, this is from Mario Maker 1, right? Yeah, I'm
yeah,
thinking of a different one. I'm thinking of a way different one. Somebody did it in Mario Maker 2, and it was hilarious because he's like, I spent all this time on it, my friends couldn't beat it, and some asshole day one.
Yeah, see, I suck at Mario. So like I spent like I tried to make a really like big fuck you level. And I spent like days trying to beat it. And then I finally did, and then Zach was like, yeah, I beat it on my second try. Like, fuck.
Anyway, I'm not, like I said, I'm not opposed to it being difficult. And I think that, like, being able to play is, okay, so I also have a problem that's an aesthetic problem, but it makes sense, and I have to get over it. I'm not a big fan of them being all, like, fadey. I know that that's definitely a thing, but I want to appreciate the character models, but, like, it's a narrative thing, so I can't get mad at it.
I agree to an extent. Because it's like narratively, because you mentioned narrative-wise, but like the reason that they were able to interact with the world was because in the initial game, Sonic brought them back, but it made him too corrupt. But the idea here is that Sage was going to help him, like, be able to have them out and also make him not corrupt. Like, so they should be back to their normal forms because they're undoing what they did in the previous scene.
So, can I ask another question? Playable outside of this, or is this just it?
I looked at someone's live stream. You cannot go back to the other maps.
Okay, see, and that's another problem I have with this, which we talked about on our server.
Yeah.
It's not gonna ruin the game for me. I'm not gonna. No, I actually am. I'm fucking lying. I am gonna be upset. I am gonna be upset. It'd be really cool to have them like you can. It'd be really cool to play around in the other levels with them. There's no reason for it to not be a thing.
You created this like these move sets for each of these characters, and you're limiting them to one area, and it's like I remember thinking to myself like, oh, you know what? With Tails, like Chaos Island would finally make sense.
Yeah, and I think
you could just fly around island to island. It would be like, and you wouldn't like, it would be a lot better. And it's like, no, you're stuck on this island where there's ground everywhere.
Yeah, and the thing that's funny about it is that, like, I can hear somebody going like, oh, well, the reason why they don't is because they can't do certain things, right? No, that's why you switch characters. There should be an openly switch characters thing.
Yes, yeah. That's another thing. I think at the very end of the game, once you've beaten it, you can switch characters. You can't prior to that.
Yeah. Yeah, I would just absolutely love it if you could have played with them in the main story, because I get it that you can be like, oh, well, they could get stuck. Yeah, that's why you don't just have them be the only option. Yeah. Sonic's the main character. Like, even what we were talking about before, where you're like, oh, they need a super form. No, they don't. They could just go, hey, Sonic, do it.
Yeah, and even then, you could do the story mode again with cutscenes removed.
Yeah.
Like, it's as simple as that. It's take out the cutscenes, and it would be fine. I get not wanting to restructure the entire game to fit for them, but yeah, like, do a fucking... that's perfect. Yeah, switch them out, and then when it comes to the boss fights, yeah, only Sonic can do those.
No, I feel like another thing that I also have to complain about is I'm not a big fan of having to unlock basic shit for the characters.
Yeah.
Look, Knuckles should be able to punch right off the bat. I don't give a fuck. Everyone else, whatever, they're fine. Knuckles not being able to punch bothers the fuck out of me.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, all the other unlocks or whatever, but, like, Knuckles is, like, the one where I'm like, so he can't punch. Okay, cool, I gotta unlock that.
I'll give them this, and I agree with you on that. Like, they should have a basic attack that's given to them right away. But I will say I do appreciate how easy they make it to unlock stuff with these guys.
Still think it's annoying.
Yeah, I know. When you get the slot machine at nighttime thing, for once it's actually useful, because there's just like the power like up fruit, the defense fruit, the Cocos, they you just get like tons of them by running around and collecting those things, like massive amounts. So where you can like update them all, like you could probably max out quickly, yeah, you could max them all out probably within an hour or two.
Oh, I know. It's just it's like it's funny because like this is the problem that I had when I was like 5 with Sonic and like back in the day, where I'm like, has these big fists and you can't punch.
Right.
So it's a primal piss off point, not a. It's not logical in any way. I mean, I guess it is for this one because like the combat is kind of important.
Yeah.
And I also have to say something, and this might be a little bit like bitchy, but I'm gonna say it anyways. Sonic is a decent platformer, but Sonic isn't a precision platformer, and I think that that's my biggest problem with this game. Sonic's platform is based around more of momentum. Even this game is still based around momentum.
Yeah.
So when you have to do precision, hell, even in the main game, I remember having issues with the more precise kind of ideas. But then again, they don't punish you for not being precise. There's another way around, and I have to applaud that for the original game. This one's like, no, fuck you.
Did you see the Twitter clip I sent of someone who made it to the very fucking top of the tower, and then they accidentally, well, I don't think they even accidentally did, but they just did their stomp a little too early, and undone. Everything's undone. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And it's just like so fucking relentless, so fucking infuriating. Yeah, no, I hate that. And it's also just like, yeah, no. Cyberspace, I've seen gameplay of it, and those actually look really new. The new Cyberspace levels look a lot of fun because, like, the levels are a lot more chaotic, but it kind of seems like they have a zero gravity thing going on where you can jump a lot crazier. I love that for Sonic. They just gave you the spin dash for free because that thing's a lot of fucking fun to use. I mean, just to name some positives,
Do they give you like a proper spin dash, or is it just the drop dash?
It's the proper spin dash.
Son of a bitch.
It's what you have to unlock in the fucking main game, but for this final world, they're just like, you can have it.
Okay, cool. Because I remember because I played around with the drop dash for a second, and that's dope.
I like the drop dash too, yeah.
The drop dash is like the one thing that like I honestly thought it turned into a that's cool. I'm not going to use it. To holy shit, that's awesome.
It is just when you like take a second to like I'll say this because I was playing around with it a lot last night. When you just say fuck the towers and go off and just kind of make your own fun with it, it is very fun. The changes they've made to Sonic in this game are a lot of fun. I mean, like, tons of fucking fun. The issue is, once you get tired of that, it's like, alright, back to the tower.
I will say this, though. I'm very happy I didn't review this game when I wanted to.
Right.
I mean, it wouldn't have ruined it. I was very positive, and I still am. And I want to stress very clearly that, like, this is DLC, so realistically, even if I did review this game, I would definitely talk about this, but it doesn't ruin the game for me, because it's fucking whatever at this point, right? Like, it's DLC.
Yeah.
And I can't say that it ruins the game. It sucks that, like, I mean, to be fair here, and if I'm gonna sound super, like, unfair to Sonic as a franchise, which is against me on this one, but I'm a lot happier that they fumbled the bag at the DLC, if you argue that, versus them fumbling the bag on the game.
Yeah. So I want to go through some positives now, because I said I wanted to end on a positive note. I will give one more complaint, and that's that one of the great things that Update 1 did was throwing the music tracks from other games that you can collect. You're not allowed to access those in the Update 3, and I don't get why.
It sucks. It's weird, but it sucks.
I like the new songs, though. I like the Tails, Knuckles, and Amy themes. I love
Knuckles
the fucking rendition of the main overworld theme that they do for when you're back to Sonic. It sounds wonderful. Go ahead.
Knuckles' theme took me back to, like, the 2000s.
Yeah.
Like, it sounds like an AMV that you would hear. I'm not saying that, like, in a negative. Sounds like, I don't know. It sounds dope.
Yeah, I like all the new music they're throwing in. They have a new credit song too. They revamped. They like made adjustments to "I'm Here" for the final boss. The final boss song is still "I'm Here," but they've made adjustments to it to make it stand out a little bit.
Yeah, it's called "I'm Here" too.
I like the movesets that Sonic, Tails, and Amy get, even though there's flaws with them, but a lot of the flaws come from what they want you to do with the characters and the camera and unresponsiveness. The controls themselves are fine. It's some of the scenarios they put the characters in that are not fine. Sonic, I really liked that they gave you the spin dash. I really like... I really like. There's moments where I'm climbing that tower where I'm almost having fun, and it's just the fear of like if I fuck up once, I'm starting over, and it takes a long time to climb up those things. This isn't like a 2-minute thing. If you're making it all the way up to that tower, it probably took you like 7 to 10 minutes to get up there. And if you mess up once, and sometimes it's not even your fucking fault. Sometimes you're making a jump, the latch on to like hit a spring, the home and attack the spring is there, you press it and it's unresponsive. That happens too.
You have to do hardcore fucking physics to play this game. And like there's sometimes where it's like if I don't boost at this spot right here, I'm gonna miss it, or I'm gonna overshoot it.
Yeah. And the fucking first, and this is just the first tower. I've seen footage of what the second, third, and fourth one is like, and it's only going to get worse.
Mm-hmm.
And it's insane. It's insane what they want you to do. And I'm trying to get as much fun out of each character that I can
like
right now on this Switch.
Sonic.
Kind of. I don't know if it's like as hard as that, but it's like, yeah. Bottom line, I guess I do like the new music. I do like a lot of the gameplay. The frustrating parts are really fucking frustrating, and I think it's gonna kill the experience for a lot of people. It doesn't kill it for me, but it brings it down. But I do like that it feels more like a climax. I feel like the original game really rushed the end, and this one doesn't feel rushed. And I like the ending more, even though it's pretty similar to how the original one ends. And I like that they gave us these characters to play again for the first time since like fucking 06. And I not counting like side scrollers or like the classic games making a comeback, but. Yeah, it's just, there's a lot to like about this update, but the things that bring it down are tragic because it feels like it was all unavoidable. It felt like there were so many solutions to make this better, and maybe they'll do some work on it, but I don't think they're going to do anything major. They said this is the final Horizon final update. Yeah, I don't know. It's not the worst thing ever. I would rather it exist than it not exist. But I get why people hate this, because again, there's parts of it that I feel like it's an answer to my biggest problems at the ending of the game. And then there's other parts where we're talking 06 territory. Like that bad. Like just the fucking make this comparison. Yeah, the fucking Knuckles infinite jump is back, and I don't know if that's on purpose or not.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I guess if I can put it in my terms here, I am not upset at this, and it doesn't ruin my experience because it isn't like it's a part of the game that like you have to go out of your way for. So
yeah,
I'm fine with where it's at. Like I said before, I'm happy they fumbled this bag, and I can't even say that they fumbled it. But like I said, I'm being ungenerous here. I'd rather have them fumble this than anything else, right? Mm-hmm. Because Frontiers is still a great game. You can fight me on that one. I think Frontiers is still a great game.
I don't disagree.
Did I say the name right? Did I give the right Sonic game for once?
You did. Good job.
Okay, cool.
I appreciate the update. I just feel like people working on it, you made some choices that that turned a lot of your fans against you.
Well, my biggest problem with it is that
them.
Well, the thing is, I would much rather have what it is than it not have it at all, right?
Yeah, here's
like what you said, actually.
Yeah, and I the best way I could sum up this game, this update is it's insanely hard, but it's not necessarily insanely hard for intentional reasons.
Yeah,
it's not like like a lot of it comes down to misunderstanding the original game that you guys worked on and shouldn't have misunderstood. But at the end of the day, there's still a lot to love about it. I feel bad fixating so much on the negatives when there is so much to love about it, but it's just like, I want to make it clear, I didn't do this at all for the original game. I didn't do a big video on Frontiers, but I talked pretty positively about it in the Year of the Hedgehog video, And in my initial thoughts video, I said it was one of the best experiences I've had with the series in a long time. I have not been a negative Nancy with Frontiers, even when the trailers were coming out and people were bitching about it. I was open-minded to it. So I just want to make it clear, I'm not someone who bitches all the time. I'm not someone who complains all the time. This is... I feel like that adds a little bit of weight to what I'm saying, because yes, there are people who like shit talk every game, and that's fine. I don't care.
Yeah, that's me.
you're allowed to have negative thoughts on the series. I'm not someone who gets angry at other people for doing that, but I'm just saying, for people who don't like seeing that type of negativity and it being fixated on, I don't normally get like that, and that should say something about this game.
I like to say apologize for games a lot, but
you do. You definitely do.
As my time has come into more, it's harder for me to apologize for this. But another part of me is like, you also have to make it to the end of this game. I don't know where I stand right now. I feel like I'm gonna have to come back, which I'm probably gonna do. I'm probably gonna invite you on my Sonic Frontiers video soon, because I'm gonna work on that at some point.
I will join you.
It's only because like it's such a different Sonic game, right? Like, I know that I ask you to do every fucking Sonic game under the sun, and they ask you to try to do ones that are like different. So
right now it's one of a kind.
Yeah.
So we'll see where the future of this series takes us, but I think this is a good direction for them, and at the end of the day, I'm glad this exists, and I had fun. I'm having fun with it, and this is an initial thoughts. I might like come around on this video and say like I take back most of what I said, because yeah, I am still like pretty new to this. But how many hours do you have to put into an update to have a full opinion on it? Like a full game, I get it. You might need to put up a lot more time. This is just an update to a game I already played and beat twice. So like, I don't know. I feel like this video is probably fair.
Yeah, like I don't know if they just gave more of a warning that it's a lot more difficult, or if fix some stuff, which is possible. Yes, this is the last update, but what that normally means is like, hey, this is the last time we're gonna like give you something big. They might fix some of the shittier issues without us knowing. Yeah. That's what happens. We live in that time where they could do it, and even if they don't, cope.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, that's we can say all of this stuff, but yeah, at the end of the day, that's what we do. This is, plus it was a free update that they didn't have to make. People are already happy with the game, so.
Look, Michael, Cranky Kong beat this game in 3 minutes, so.
But like
that's a joke that I don't even think you get.
I don't know why it made me laugh, because I don't fucking get it.
So in Donkey Kong Country 1, you can beat the game and then Cranky like shit talks, or is it Donkey Kong? Whatever. One of the Donkey Kong Country games, you beat the game and he's like, I beat this game in an unreasonable amount of time.
But are you still there? Did I lose Chris? I think I lost Chris, but I think we've already said everything we need to say. This is like almost an hour long. I think I'm gonna end this even. Yeah, that's just the end of the video. Oh wait, did Cranky Kong cut off your internet, Chris?
Yes. Cranky Kong cut off my internet.